LinkedIn profile. We would love to connect. Make sure you all are connecting with each other. And so we are seeing an uptick and some change in the economy as far as, we're seeing some layoffs. We know that some people are laid off that are on the call today. So if you could, again, in the chat box, if you are actively currently looking for a job, please drop a 1, either through, it doesn't matter, through a layoff, maybe you're getting back in the workforce. There's a reason why you're actively searching. Yes, layoff. Okay. Yes, thank you. Look at that. Everyone, so many of you are actively looking for a new position. Great. Thank you for being here. You're in the right place. I'm not sure how you found us or how you knew about us, but I'm glad you did. And I'm glad you're here because you're going to hear a lot of great information today. Yes, layoffs. We do know has been a lot more layoffs. The data is not telling us all of the story yet, but we have been hearing about a lot more layoffs. So glad you're here. All right. So our agenda today, you guys, we're going to be tackling some stuff. We're going to talk about the career obstacle course. Brenda Mariah has got this down. She is the best speaker we have on this topic. She is phenomenal. She's going to walk you through some of the stuff that sometimes people are utilizing and getting stuck in their brain around why they can't find a job. So she's going to talk through some of that. We're going to hear about work smarter, not harder. This is all about AI. Justin Jones is going to talk to you guys about AI, what it looks like in the job search. Let me ask this question. If you have used AI in some capacity in your job search, in your work, in some capacity, can you drop a 1 in the chat? I would love to see who's already using it. Okay. All right. Great. Yes, it is something that everyone should be using in some capacity, and Justin's going to make it much easier for you, and he's going to share some content on what it is. You may not know what it is even, and why we're using it. And then I'll come back and I'll do some resources and closing, and then Bree will take us into the breakout rooms. And so those are some of the breakout rooms that we're going to have at the end. And again, stay on the call until the 10:30 timeframe, Pacific Standard Time, the 10:30 timeframe, because we are going to go into those breakout rooms and there's going to be people available to support you. All right. So let's see. Yes, I think that's everything before we get moving on. So I am going to just bring you the powerhouse right now. And her name is Brenda Mariah. When confidence is missing from your job search, career advancement, interview preparation or performance, salary negotiation, LinkedIn profiles, or career-related communications, Brenda Mariah is your girl. When you know you can do the job, but you're having trouble getting others to see your value, that's where she comes in, specializing in boosting confidence in those who are going to battle emotionally in their careers or transitions. Brenda Mariah of Push Career Management is a career-focused speaker, wordsmith, career storyteller, encourager, author, and strategist that can help them and you see what you're made of. Brenda is the incoming president of the National Resume Writers Association, the past president of the Resume Writers and Coaches Association, and is certified in interview coaching, compensation negotiation, job search strategy, resume writing, career management, LinkedIn profile development, and employment law. She works with major brands to provide corporate outplacement services during layoffs, and her prior engineering and project management background uniquely qualifies her to help even the most technical professionals. Not only all of that, she is a dear friend of Career Connectors, and we adore her and are so grateful. So welcome, Brenda Mariah.
Oh my goodness. I love you, Jessica. I love you guys, Career Connectors. I'm so proud of everybody for being here today. After a layoff can be one of the most vulnerable moments in your life. And so I'm especially proud of you for showing up for yourselves, for getting this information. And I want to really encourage you to do something with it. It's really easy to kind of crawl into that fetal position and get stuck on your couch. Ask me how I know. Right. And so I saw how many people use the number 1 to indicate that they have been laid off. And And that it struck me in my heart. I actually had a slightly different intro prepared, but it struck me in my heart because I know that feeling. I know exactly what that felt like, to think that the job that I had given so much, I mean, I was probably putting in, I don't know, 70 hours a week and just giving them everything I had. And then to get that tap that said, you know, pretty much services no longer needed. What it did, unfortunately for me, and I hope to correct this for you, but what it did for me is it actually took away my confidence in myself. I believed that I was nothing because the thing that my identity was tied to was gone. And so I really want to encourage you today to understand that you are more than your job. You are more than your employment status. You are so much more than this. And so I have a small little illustration that I want to show you. And so this is just a candle, and it has a lid. And you can see this lid fits perfectly onto this candle. But here's another candle, really teeny tiny, right? This same lid was perfect for that candle, but it doesn't fit this one. Does it change the fact that this is a perfect lid? The object itself is still perfect, but even the most perfect things will not fit in every space. And so not every job is for you. Not every position, even though you see it, you know, I could do that job. There's something that can be seen, maybe that you don't have access to, that says, I don't know if this person is the perfect fit, but that has no bearing. I repeat, no bearing whatsoever on your worth, your value. And so let's just kind of keep in mind that even perfect things don't fit everywhere, and that's okay. All right, and so now I'll get a quick little funny personal with my half voice. Sorry, y'all. We did an amusement park. There was a lot of screaming involved, let's just say. But I think about the fact that, I don't know, the last couple of months I've been dipping my toe in the dating waters. It's not even fun out here. It is not fun out here. I don't know if anybody can relate to how interesting the dating pool is. OMG. Thank you, Tony. I appreciate that. Because it is very, very serious. It's very discouraging. It's very disheartening. And it's really easy to think that you'll just kind of be alone forever because these people just, yikes, right? Lisa, it's trash. It's trash. And so I think about how we have preferences in our dating situations, right? A lot of folks, a lot of women in particular, maybe want tall, dark, and handsome. A lot of men may want, you know, under 40, no kids, all these like criteria that we have, but they're not always expressly voiced. And so if I don't know that that's what you're looking for, and I'm putting myself out there and I think, well, I'm cute. I got my cute hair. I got my cute clothes. I'm showing up. I've done all the right things. I'm showing up. I'm putting myself out there. I'm shooting my shot, and nobody's connecting. Nobody's making the match. Is it me? Am I terrible? Am I worthless? Am I not enough? No, you simply haven't met the preferences that they have that were unspoken. And so I want you to remember that more often than not, this is about unmet expectations, preferences that are unspoken, and has more likely absolutely nothing to do with who you are as an individual. And so let's tackle the job search obstacle course, because I think this is, okay. And so I'm gonna be reading a few notes here and there throughout our time together because I want to say some things and I want to make sure that they're said correctly. But your insecurities are either a product of trauma or training. Whew, like when I heard that, I believe Mel Robbins said it. And when I heard it, I was like, oh my gosh. Your insecurities are either a product of trauma or training. They are not innate. They are induced. It's not all in your head. It does exist. But today we're going to learn how to outsmart the system that convinced you you were not enough. All right. So look at this thing. I think about the movie, Jesus, what was the movie? Poltergeist. So the mom is running down the hall trying to save the kids, and the hall just kind of never stops. It's just kind of keeps stretching, it keeps growing, and oh my God, will this thing ever end? And she's just running. Well, that's the image that I think about when I think about the landscape of job search right now. And I definitely have come up, I've said to myself, job search is just freaking harder than it needs to be. And I'm not here to play nice. I'm here to tell truth. I do want to encourage, but we're also going to keep it real, because half of the battle is just being validated, being understood. Somebody hears me. Finally, somebody understands. This is not just in my head. Job search is harder than it needs to be. Now, I should probably mention to you, I'm Black. I'm a woman. Now, it doesn't look like it today, but I do have natural hair. And so somebody asked me the other day if I wanted to go swimming. I was like, do you even know how much time and money I have just spent on making my hair look like this? You don't even want to mess with me right now. If I get in the water, it's just a whole different situation. And so I have all these things. I'm over 40. I'm actually closer to the middle, y'all, 45 in January. But here's the deal. I don't have a degree in career management, and here I am talking to you about your job search and discrimination. And so obstacles don't have to stop you. They don't have to stop you. If you run into a wall, don't give up. Figure out how to climb. So we're going to get the tools today to make sure you know how to climb, make sure you know how to fight, to make sure you know how to push through some of these things that will try to keep you in your own head, to try to keep you stuck, and they will try to keep you in that fetal position on your couch. Again, ask me how I know. All right. Now, this page here, it's going to be a little hard to accept. And I'm going to say that right now. Sometimes, I won't say it has nothing to do, but it has little to do or more to do with your lack of connecting with your audience, lack of professional resume, right? A lot of times folks are out here and they think they are worthy of these $80,000 jobs, $80,000 jobs, $100,000 jobs, $200,000 jobs, because that's what they've been accustomed to. They're getting rejection after rejection after rejection. And sometimes it has nothing to do with their race, their gender, their sexual orientation, or their age. It has everything to do with their marketing, right? If you're using the same channels as everybody else, and you're using a resume that looks like you wrote it in 1998, these are the bigger problems. It is not always your age. It is not always your race. It is not always your fill in the blank. Sometimes it is your marketing. And so let's get in control of what we can control. And that is us. That is our marketing. That is how we talk about and position ourselves. Let's talk about those things, because we absolutely can influence those areas. There will be time for questions at the end. So if you do have some questions, I would ask that maybe you get your keyboard queued up so that you can ask it toward the end. They don't get lost in the big chat bundle. But I'd like to make sure to save some time for your unique questions toward the end, and or we can talk about it in the breakout room later if you have like a really burning, nagging question that you feel like has been keeping you stuck. And so we're going to make sure to talk about those things. All right. And so one of the first obstacles that I know some of you are currently encountering or have encountered is the lack of a college degree, professional certification, some sort of a formal credential. And so here's the deal. Some occupations absolutely require a degree. I mean, I hope to God that nobody's hired you to be the medical doctor at the hospital network and you are not an MD. Like, please know that there are just some roles that will require a formal credential. And so even as an engineer, I remember coming out of college, automatically making more and having a different title than other people who were technicians that knew that they could run circles around me all day. But I had a degree and they didn't. And it was hard. And it was a hard reality to accept, but it was real nonetheless. And so understand that there are some roles and some pathways that will require a degree. And if you want to do those forms of work, please consider finding resources to go and earn that 2-4 year degree, whatever that looks like for you. However, for the most part, what I discovered is that when somebody says, you know, we're looking for somebody with a master's degree, we're looking for somebody with a degree, really what they want to know is somebody that has the capacity to learn. I just need to know that somebody has the ability to think on this level, to become a problem solver, to be able to use tools, to be able to tap into like time management and conflict resolution. And a lot of those things are the things that you learn kind of in the underbelly of the college degree experience. Okay, so are you looking for a specific technical skill set, or are you looking for certain experiences? Because if you already have the experience, emphasize that thing. And so next time when you're out there, you're on LinkedIn, you're in an interview, oh, you know, tell me about your college degree, tell me about your education. Okay. Oh, somebody said congratulations, Valanda, got the degree finally. Excellent. Congratulations to you. But when you're out there and you're talking about yourself and you're talking about your credentials, don't just mask it and just hope nobody notices, right? Like, I have studied, I have 10 years of experience doing this thing, and here are some of my results, and I can do these things. Talk about it with pride, because there is nothing wrong with you. There is nothing in the world wrong with you. Again, if you're pursuing something that requires a degree, go get that thing. And if not, please understand that your experience has value and it can overrule education. Consider this. Even when I'm writing a resume, if I'm writing a resume for a new graduate, their education actually is one of the first things that you'll see on that resume, because they don't have a lot of experience yet to account for. But as time goes on, you've been doing this work for 5 and 10 years. Heck, I'm good. That education falls all the way to the bottom. Why? Because the experience is far more relevant than anything you could have learned in a classroom. And so make sure that your experience is showcased in your resume, in your LinkedIn profile, and how you talk about yourselves. Listen, my friends, if you don't believe it, I promise it's going to be very, very difficult for you to help other people see it. I want you to see it. Listen, I went through all these years of therapy so that I could see value in me. And I'll be darned, not on my watch will you leave this presentation today and forget that you are valuable too. All right. Need I say more? Especially if you're in certain states, right? Jessica was calling out all different states and different, we know certain states have different political views, let's just say, right? We're not going to call any out today at this moment, but there are challenges facing some of you who are in alternate sexual orientations or gender fluid, whatever the circumstance is. Again, own that thing. And I look at this image of female firefighters because for nearly my whole life cycle, females weren't firefighters. They just weren't. They weren't physically, they weren't emotionally, all of those things. They were, for so many various reasons, excluded from the profession. And this is not okay. And so what we come to find out is they're just as capable. Why does it matter what's going on under my clothes if I can do the job? All right. And so I want you to, again, get very comfortable with how you talk about yourselves. Do you own it or do you shy away from it? Because if you're afraid of it, other people will scarcely embrace you. So please, please, please get comfortable always in our own skin. We have to be. All right. Now, I think back to, it was probably more than 10 years ago. And I had written this blog post about like, stop pulling the race card. And I still believe that to some extent, like we need to stop pulling the race card all the time. However, not long after I published that blog, I was at the swimming pool with my kids. Just to, somebody's yeah. Oh, sorry. Hey. But so I was at the swimming pool with my kids, and it was kind of a big public pool, and not public, but like private access, but other, lots of families and friends were there. So my kids are loud and they're laughing and they're splashing and they're having a good old time, and it was great. And I'm lying on the little lounger, and I'm just kicking back, I'm chilling, I'm reading a book, I'm hanging out, I don't know, maybe half taking a nap. Everybody's good until I get a tap on the shoulder that says, "Man, we're gonna need you to get your kids to be a little quieter. We're getting some complaints about noise." So I'm looking around like, wait, there are other kids laughing and jumping and splashing, but you tapped me on the shoulder. Why? And so I asked them about it. There was some bogus kind of response. I actually escalated it to the administrative office, and come to find out it was actually an issue of racism. And it happened in real time in my face, and it happened to me. And so one of the things that I think we don't fully understand is experiences that we haven't had yet. It didn't happen to you, so you don't think it's real. You don't think it exists, but it absolutely does. Think about how many A/B testing Black and ethnic candidates have done over the course of the years. They have submitted their resumes under 2 different names. It troubles me to even say this, but it's true. If I had to submit my resume or my CV under 2 different names just for the more traditional sounding name to be the one that gets the responses, and it's the exact same resume, then I know we have some form of a problem here. And so I want to, again, make sure that you understand that this is real. Racism in the hiring process is real. Okay, not hiring racialized people for positions, but code words are, "Oh, you're overqualified." Right? These are just code words. If part of my applicant scanning process is to weed out people with names that I can't pronounce, so they should not, come on now. And so we have got to get to the place of understanding that there are some employers. Oh, don't you worry. I have a whole call to action for the employers that may be on this call. Don't you worry, job seekers. I've got your back. But I want you to understand that there are employers out here that do not understand yet that you have value. They see a name they can't pronounce and they get afraid. This is hard stuff. Yes, spell that thing out. I think about a young lady I custom made her LinkedIn URL to kind of phonetically spell out her name. Because I instruct people all the time, listen, if you know that people traditionally have trouble pronouncing your name, help them. When you answer your phone, answer it with your name. Speak as slowly as you can. For us, not for you, right? You know how to say your name, but do it for us. Make sure it's spelled out, again, phonetically, in help people with pronunciation on your email signatures, on your LinkedIn profile. Use the LinkedIn audible function where you can actually pronounce your name in your own voice, right? Spell that thing out and make it plain, make it easy, because if that's the thing holding you back, we have control over that. And again, once you know that there are people operating in this world that we call home, and they are operating from a place of fear because I don't know how to say this person's name, that's one thing we can absolutely eliminate from the equation. So let's get in control of what we can get in control of, shall we? Again, this is hard stuff, but because you have an ethnic name does not have any bearing on your value. None, I repeat, none, no bearing on your value. Can you do the job? Will you do the job? Do you have the skills? Do you have the energy to do the job? Make sure those answers are yes, and proceed with your ethnic name and all. Okay. Now, just in case anybody's on here, as we're talking about names super fast, if anybody is on here wondering, isn't that Brenda Cunningham? Don't I know her from somewhere? They didn't say Cunningham. Who the heck is this person? Yes, legally, I am still Brenda Cunningham, but technically, I have embraced a whole new version of me. And that does not include the name Cunningham anymore. And so Mariah is my middle name. So please, as you see me moving forward, understand that Brenda Mariah is the same person that you've already known. All right. Okay. Now, age. Age discrimination is one that I probably encounter more than all the others. All the others, like hands down. I specifically think about a gentleman who called, it was a few years ago, but I get a call. And the first thing out of this person's mouth was, I'm 72 years old and nobody's willing to give me a chance. Okay, let me listen. This person proceeds to ask, can you tell me more about Push Career Management? Again, my company. Can you tell me about Push Career Management, what you guys do, and are you hiring? So let's break that down. I'm 72 years old. Nobody will give me a chance. Who are you again? What do you do? And will you give me a job? No. Exactly. No way. But it has nothing to do with their age. Nothing. He could have left the 72 years old part out of that conversation and it would have been no. Why? Because the problem was you approached me for a job and didn't even know what I do as a company. This was the bigger issue. And so there are sometimes going to be these small, fine-tunable kinds of things that we're doing, and we're not even aware of it. And so coming to an event like Career Connectors and chatting with some of the coaches in the breakout sessions in a little bit, that's going to be where some of the best magic will happen, is because you can now explain your situation. A coach might say, all right, well, walk me through your traditional introduction. How do you normally respond to this kind of question? And they'll be able to break that thing apart in a few moments. Something that you may have been struggling with for weeks and months oftentimes I can listen to and give you the answer back to you in about 30 seconds. So make sure that you are listening for the actual opportunities instead of automatically assuming that it's just because of your age. All right. I really do want to encourage you all here today, because older people, older candidates can be some of the best, most amazing workers, right? Especially when you consider if you're like 5 or 10 years out from retirement and you really just kind of want to stay put in a place for the next 5 or 10 years, you're better than the average job search candidate, because on average, job seekers or professionals are only staying in their positions a couple of years. So you actually bring longevity with you. This is a good thing if you own it, if you own that thing. All right. And so let's talk about this. So this picture is a little old. So she's probably 77 years old at this point, because I think I used this picture a couple years ago. I just didn't want to change the picture. But the point is made. This phenomenal woman, 74 years old, I'm going to tell you, she looks better in a bikini than I do. And so she has just got it going on. She's out there clearly pumping iron, lifting weight. She's toned, she's fit. She can probably run with the best of them. This is real talk. I love this image. I love this image that at any age, you can do the things that you need to do. Do not let your own age get in your own head, and now you're convincing yourself that you can't. This is, again, half of the battle. But let's think about this. Why is it that so many employers have opted to start discriminating or to continue discriminating on the basis of age? Why is it that they prefer younger workers? Why is that? Here are some of the stigma that we need to make sure we're staying mindful of. These are the stigma that are being attached to older candidates. Outdated skills, they're not keeping up. Right? If I say we're talking about AI and Justin's getting ready to talk about AI in a little bit, and you're like, I'm not dealing with that newfangled stuff. I'm just going to stick with my little pencil and paper and my little yellow notepad. That worked once upon a time. It no longer works today. This is a new day. And so if you are tech limited, these, again, are the stigmas out there about you. Whether they're right or wrong, this is the thought process. You don't have up-to-date skills. Your technology savvy is limited. You're pretty rigid and inflexible. I'm not changing. Look, I did it too. I did it at the grocery store. Maybe some of you did too. When all of a sudden it's like one checkout and it's like 8 self-checkouts. I'm like, they don't pay me to do this. I'm gonna stand in this line. They're gonna check out my darn groceries. And I get very upset because it's not the way that it used to be. And we get very upset about it because we're a little bit set in our ways, right? I was like, I became that person. I became the get off my lawn person. I became it when it came to self-checkout in the grocery store. That was my moment. That was my breaking point. But again, a lot of times there is the stigma that because you're near retirement, you're not very motivated. Maybe you don't have the energy to show up and do this job the way that it has historically been done. Doesn't even make it right, but just the way that it has been done, that you require more compensation than the next person. If I can get the same skills at a cheaper price, why not? Right? Why not? And so the code words that you probably are going to see in different rejection letters or even job postings sometimes, energetic, adapter of new technology. These are code words. We want a young person because we have the stigma that older candidates aren't going to be as embracing of new technology. And so on the back end, some of the rejection language will come through more than likely as overqualified or not a good fit. right? They're going to keep it generic. Why? Because if I say we're not hiring you because we're looking for somebody that was under 40, we're going to open ourselves up to a lawsuit. They're not going to say that. But how do I know? How the heck does Brenda know that people are out here discriminating on the basis of age and just not telling you? It's because I talk to the people who hire. Part of my job is to talk to the recruiting community, is to talk to those people. And when we get, very comfortable and we let our hair down in a lunch somewhere, maybe a wine or two, that's when, we're looking for somebody under 50. That's when it starts to come out. The truth does reveal itself at some point. And so I do want to, again, validate that this is real talk that you may be truly, truly experiencing, but there are some solutions. And I want to talk about that now. And so, yes, it is very easy for me to say, just be so good that they can't ignore you. Stop being the world's best kept secret. Show up. Make sure you're on LinkedIn. We heard about LinkedIn today. I am a huge advocate and believer for LinkedIn. I think it is the place you need to be if you are a professional in today's world, period. The end. I don't get paid extra to say that. I don't get paid anything to say that, right? I just believe it because I've seen it. And so when you make it plain, this is what I do it well, here are some of the results that I've been able to realize, I can start to see you differently. But if you come to me and you say, well, I think I want to be in insurance, I think I want to be in real estate, I kind of have a background in customer service, but I was thinking about healthcare, I got nothing. I can't make a mental connection to save my life because you just told me like 5 and 6 different things. And what the picture that you painted for me was that you were a jack of all trades. But I want you to finish that thought. The jack of all trades is the master of none, right? Do I want to hire somebody who's kind of good at a lot of little things, or do I want to hire somebody that's really good at my core business? And I want you to be thinking about that. And how can I show up and be excellent in my core lane? Right? Think about how you're wired to function in this world. What is your purpose? What is your path? What is that thing that you were just absolutely built to do? And don't be afraid of it. Don't be afraid of it. How do you participate in social media? Do you participate in social media? You know how many connections are made and how many referrals and introductions are made? I made I think 3 introductions just last week. Just last week. And if I had made an introduction through LinkedIn and the one person maybe doesn't go on LinkedIn very often, and that message just kind of sat there for 3 months or 5 months or forever, do you think that opportunity has come and gone? It was missed because you're opting not to participate in the thing that seems to be one of the lifebloods of this time in history. We can't run from it, right? The first thing I ask when I meet somebody, are you on LinkedIn? Oh, how about Facebook? Right? You got to be somewhere, or we don't even have a mechanism to keep in touch anymore. You got to be somewhere. Are you keeping your skills current? This is a big one. I ask pretty much everybody that I ever work with on their resume, what kind of professional development have you gone through in the last couple of years? The answers that I get, particularly from older candidates, I don't know. I really haven't done a whole lot in the last couple of years. I don't know. Like it's an actual problem, but it's an actual opportunity. Because again, this is something that you can control. You can do something about this. Professional development does not mean, she mentioned in my bio that I have a certification in employment law. So I signed up for the certification program through Cornell University. It was about 3 months. It was about $3,000, y'all. It was not cheap. And it was all of this. Is that the only kind of professional development we can do? Absolutely not. You know what my favorite brand of professional development is, especially for folks who are struggling and in between jobs and financially a little bit strapped? YouTube University, because it's free. You can learn a whole lot. You can watch demo videos, how does Salesforce work? Let's go find out. If everybody's asking for SQL and all these other things, maybe I should go learn those things instead of saying, well, we never needed that back in my day. This is not that day. This is a perfect opportunity for you to jump in and get the learning that you need. Yeah, Python, YouTube. Thank you, Pam. YouTube is a great resource. These things are out there, y'all. Please don't sit on it. And if you do need very formal, structured training, let's say you want to be a PMP, a project management professional, or something that requires an actual formal certification that costs money, engage with like Arizona at Work and inquire about the WIOA grants, right? Ask about those things that can set you up for professional training and even cover the cost of your certifications. And I'm pretty sure Career Connectors has other partners that you can tap into. Maybe we can talk about that in a little bit. But these are things that you can and should get in control of. Pretty please, for you, not for me, because I'm on it, right? All those things she said, she's certified in professional resume writer, and all these other things, that meant investment of time and resources to keep my skills current so that I could stand before you and feel confident in what I was saying. Okay, now, please, in your profiles, think about avoiding certain language like retired military, right? What does the word retired, what does that mean? Like, what instant reaction do I get? Oh, this person is at the end of their career, they're done, I'm not going to keep looking. The end, right? You are at the end of your career. You don't have gas left in the tank to keep going on this journey. I see folks that say, I'm a seasoned professional with 35 years of experience. Yay, but you just invited discrimination upon yourself. Please steer clear of these kinds of phrases because they are not serving you. They are, matter of fact, hurting you. They are hurting you. And so even think about if your graduation year is included on your resume. It doesn't need to be. The only time that I include a graduation year on a resume is if you just got that thing within like the last year or two. I don't, when I got my degree? Neither does anybody else because it's not on my resume, but let's just say it was more than 2 years ago. All right. And so strengthen your content. Look at your resume. Does it say bullet point answered phones, bullet point greeted customers? Is that what you're saying? And you want me to give you a chance? And you think I'm discriminating against you because of your age or because of your ethnic name or because of your sexual or you think these are the reasons? It has everything to do with the fact that the content on your marketing materials, your resume, your LinkedIn profile, or even how you're talking in your interviews, these things are more likely holding you back than other people's grotesque perceptions of your age. This is real talk. Now, I don't know, I can't read all the chat things coming through because I'm trying my best, y'all. But when I see something, I try to address it when I see it. Now, just real quick 4 interview getting secrets. I want to make, and they're not even secrets, just this is real talk. Let's make sure, as we kind of summarize this thing, your resume is effective. It doesn't say things like seasoned professional with 35 years of experience, doesn't have your year of graduation. Your email address isn't, Michael Johnson 1963 at AOL, because 63 is probably when you were born. AOL is the latest technology that you ever learned. And all of these things are problematic. Your content is strong. It paints you as a master of something and not just a jack of all trades. This resume, and is it even ATS compliant, right? Are you using like really cute, pretty Canva formats because somebody told you should because it looked good, and you have no idea how that thing is operating in the real world? And so please, if you're not sure, and if this has gone on for more than maybe 2 months, it is time to seek out a professional for some help. Stop being stuck in situations that we have control over. This is not okay, not anymore. This job market is saturated and it's hard. This is hard right now. So please, I heard somebody reached out to me not that long ago, and they said something like, well, I'm just going to give it a try. And if I haven't heard anything by spring, I'll reach back out to you and let you know if we, what? You're going to wait till the spring to see if somebody's going to answer your resume, your application? My God, maybe this person is independently wealthy. I don't know. Maybe, maybe they have a spouse that can hold it down. But if you're me and you're a single parent, you got work to do. We can't wait till the spring. And so please make sure to set a threshold, my friends, because the time is now. If it's already been 60 days and all you've received are rejections, there are probably some really big other things that could be addressed immediately. And it could just be your resume. It could be as simple as that. It could be your LinkedIn profile. What are you saying? Does it say anything? Is your headline read, I like to help people? Okay, that's great. But what do you actually do? Go back. I know Amanda Miller did a presentation not that long ago. Go back and watch the replay. Get that. Get what you need on the LinkedIn front. Is your social media presence clean, or is it silently killing your job search? What are you talking about on social media? Are you being a racist and you don't even know it? Are you being a troublemaker and you're not aware of the implications that it has to your job search? Are you on social media being super combative with everybody you meet? A troll, a Karen, these things, they're real things. And if you're out there behaving in this way, please know that if I'm an employer and I get your application, I don't care how old you are. If I Google your name, and Google your own names, but if I Google your name and I see how you behave with strangers on the internet, I won't want anything to do with you. And so I'll send you a form rejection letter that just says we went in another direction. I'll never tell you why. I'll never tell you it was because of your questionable and controversial post. I won't tell you that. I'll just say, no thanks. So please understand that this has weight. It has bearing, and people are searching for you. They need to know what they're working with. And therefore, again, is your skill set in demand? Are you doing your part to stay ready? Now, I definitely am wired for the work that I do, but I don't believe that most things in this day and age happen alone, in a vacuum, in a silo, all by yourself. I don't, right? I think about how many opportunities are just because of my relationships with Jessica and Joey, right? I think about how many opportunities other people have because of their relationship with me. I'm pleased to be able to introduce folks for the right kind of opportunities. But the thing is, if I don't know you, I can't recommend you. I can't refer you. And so if you're not on LinkedIn, you make it really hard for me to try to facilitate an introduction. And so this is really one of the big names of the game. How do I outsmart this system that's really trying to defeat me? I don't do it alone. I tap into my network. I show ups to make it easy for people to refer me and to recommend me and for them to see what I'm doing and how they can plug into what I'm doing. Please. Wait, somebody is saying, hold on, I just want to see this. I'm trying to see it really fast. The other obstacle is the automated job applications. Require you to put in employment and education dates. Yeah. And so listen, a lot of those things, they want to make sure that you are of the legal age. But if you talk to at least most, if the HR system is operating in compliance with the law, they should not be able to read certain things. It should be redacted or confidential until a particular moment in time. So be not afraid of just constantly having to put certain years in applications. They are not being held against you at the early stages. This is about just making sure that you are eligible, right? And so if you require like a visa, an employment visa or something like that, these are some of the things that they're trying to better navigate. So just understand, it's not the end of the world. You are who you are. It is what it is. Make a stronger case in your resume and in your other marketing materials, and that's going to overcompensate for any kind of challenges that I may have with regard to when you were born. Okay. Now, I know I'm like right up at time, so I'm going to kind of race through this here, but I do encourage you to believe better about yourself. Again, I went through years of therapy to believe better about myself so that I can try my best to accelerate your self-beliefs. Don't sabotage yourself with limited and limiting beliefs. Do get some folks advocating for you. Make sure people know what you do, how well you do that thing, what you're looking to do next. Make sure they see that stuff so they can become the biggest cheerleaders in your court. Come on, this is real talk. You got this. I do want to ask you, if you do truly want to work for somebody that would discriminate against you, I know it's hard. I know it's hard out here and we need income. We need to eat. We got bills to pay. But if you are discriminating against me just because I'm Black, I'm a woman, I speak with an accent, I have a hard to pronounce name, because I'm 65 years old, because my hair might be in locks or braids or weave or whatever, it doesn't matter. If you are not hiring me because of that, thank you. Thank you. Because I don't want to be anywhere in your atmosphere. I don't want to give you my gifts and my talents if you don't appreciate who I am. So keep casting a wide net. Now, the challenge to employers, I promised you, I'm going to read this from my phone. This came from a diversity, equity, and inclusion webinar through Cornell. And it says, we are often not even aware of those secret negative thoughts that we harbor toward those that we don't fully understand or relate to. It doesn't make them any less right for the role, but we have often chosen to prioritize our comfort over the needs of other people simply trying to earn a living. Affinity bias is things like choosing people that remind us of ourselves and can be masked as a good fit. It's based on historical fit, but it's a vicious cycle because certain groups may have been historically and continue to be excluded because you have not historically been a good fit. And so, challenge to employers is set up scoring systems, blind metrics and matrices that help you to evaluate candidates simply on the areas that you require, and make blind all other factors like name and dates and other things. But does this person have a degree? Yes or no? Check. Not when did they get it? Irrelevant. But the challenge to you, friends, is to accept the truth. Their unmet expectation, they're seeking out some sort of historical fit, has nothing to do with you or your worth. Please keep pushing. I want to share with you these recommended resources. Here's my QR code. So if you want to connect with me on LinkedIn, you can take a quick screenshot of that, and then let's connect. I will stop here. I hope that you have gotten some value. I hope that you are feeling encouraged, ready to fight, and ready to make the changes in the areas that you can control today. Thank you so much for being here.
Yes, thank you so much, Brenda. How about a round of applause for our dear friend, Brenda Mariah. We love you. Thank you, thank you, thank you for being authentic, bringing great information and understanding a way to navigate through some of these very, very real challenges. Thank you again for being here. Brenda will be available during the breakout session as well. So hang tight. If you have some questions from her that did not get answered, she would love to talk to you in the breakout session. All right. Yes, you're getting tons of claps, and yes, we so appreciate you. Okay. We're going to move to our next, we're going to take a small pause. Earlier, last month, we launched a scholarship application, and it's a $3,000 scholarship that we have launched in the name of Sheila Kulam, and Sheila has been part of the Career Connectors organization. She was with us for more than 7 years. She's currently has moved on and is in a different organization, but she helped us build what we are today. And so when she left, when she transitioned out, we gave her, she's a huge advocate for education. And so when she departed, we created a scholarship in her name specific to education. And so Sheila was, she built out so much of Career Connectors from processes. She ran our events during COVID when we had to change and go all online. We were at an event, I'll never forget this, and in 2020, and about 30 people had shown up, and we usually were getting around 100 people at our event. So it was obviously people were shutting down. And I said, what are we going to do? Because all of our events were in person. And Sheila looked at me and she goes, we're not stopping. And so these people need us specifically now more than ever. And so she said, I'm going to figure it out. So this was before Zoom was everyone knew how to use Zoom. And I mean, Zoom was around, but people weren't using it every day. People were going to work in person. And so within, I think it was actually 5 days, we flipped, and we made our entire program online for that period of time. And we were able to help so many people. So she was significant in that. And so in her name, we are awarding a $3,000 education scholarship to Gabriela Rodriguez. Gabriela, thank you for your application. It was a hard, difficult choice for the committee to make. I just want to introduce who Gabriela is. She has volunteered and worked in diverse nonprofit settings and will be using the scholarship to further her education and career in the nonprofit sector by enrolling in ASU's nonprofit certificate program and using the scholarship to fund her education. She had such a great story, and her aspiration is to step into a director role within the nonprofit sector where she can put her passion and expertise to work in front of those who need guidance and support. When Gabriela and her sons found themselves facing really hard financial hardship several years ago, it was nonprofits that stepped up and helped them discover their own pathways to self-sustainability. And that's what Gabriela aims to do for others. So Sheila, I know you're on the line. Sheila, do you want to unmute and say anything real quick to Gabriela? I kind of put you on the spot here.
Well, I mainly just want to say congratulations, and I can't wait to hear your journey and where this takes you. And your story was really inspiring. So keep doing what you're doing.
Thank you, Sheila. We love you, love you, love you, love you. We miss you. Gabby, are you on the line? I know she was going to jump in. Could you unmute if you're on the line?
Hi, everyone. I am on the line, and, from the bottom of my toes to the top of my head, I want to thank Career Connectors. Brenda, so many truths that you've shared today and that I have implemented in my life to get to this point, because I was not the traditional college student. I was an adult learner and quickly realized I need to catch up, but, did it in my way that was honest to me. And that's how I've maneuvered in my career and Career Connectors, always bringing those nuggets of information that can really help us process where can we modify what we are doing to really get in front of an employer. And so things have changed from the moment that I applied to the scholarship as far as employment, but my energy and my motivation is even more on fire because of these opportunities that Career Connectors put together, and also all the people that I meet, because our stories, I have a really great friend that always says, every story has been told, but you have a different version. And so being vulnerable, sharing that information is really what keeps me energized, because like Sheila said, we have to keep going. There is no stopping. Definitely stop and rest, but you have to keep going because, I've embraced my gray hair. So to Brenda's point, there's some things that they're going to be apparent, but I'll tell you what, my brain is sharper. My skills are sharper. And so I own that. And I believe that of everybody in this space. And we are needed. We are needed because the basics are the basics: kindness and support and community. So thank you again for choosing me, and I will not let you down. Thank you.
Now you all can see why she was chosen, right? Oh, Gabby, congratulations. Thank you. Thank you. We're so excited to have you and see what you do in the nonprofit community. If we can ever be of any help, let us know. And I'm excited to help you move forward there. So thank you, Sheila. Thank you. We just adore you and are so grateful for everything you have brought to our community. You're just a blessing. We love you.
Thank you, Jessica. I love you back.
All right, now we're going to move over to Justin Jones, you guys, and wait until he's got some great stuff for you. Justin Jones likes nothing more than hearing his clients say, "I got the job." Affectionately known as Job Coach Justin, he is naturally skilled at helping people recognize and communicate their inherent value. During his 20 years in coaching, he has shared insights about interviewing and finding meaningful work with thousands of individuals. Justin is a dynamic career coach, public speaker, and facilitator, and currently he is responsible for overseeing a team of career mentors at Brigham Young University. Justin has been with us since almost the beginning. He has helped so many people through the program. Please help me welcome Justin Jones.
Yeah. Wow, thank you, thank you, thank you. Oh, so happy to be with you. So awesome, Brenda. Thank you so much for all of that. Those truth bombs just going off all over the place. I know everybody loved those. And it's really pretty cool that we are all here together. Now let's take all that fresh ideas and see how we can apply AI in the job search. So I know that we saw loads of you putting ones in for, hey, I have used AI in some way, shape, or form. I would love a number 2 in the chat for anybody who's like, I'm totally new to this. I don't know what you're talking about. Let's see what, so, okay, we got at least a couple of 2s. Don't be ashamed. It's all pretty darn new. Just in this past year, as when it's been really quite accessible to us as the general public, but AI is not new. I remember back as a kid, I was really enthralled with the cartoon, The Jetsons. If any of you remember The Jetsons, there was a lot of artificial intelligence going on. So as you look at this definition of what is AI, I like to think of Rosie the robot. For the Jetsons, she just had everything that they needed. And even when they're blundering, Rosie the robot really did help them out. So if you remember Rosie the robot, you can give me a thumbs up. If not, you can go out and check it out on Google. Hopefully some of you are doing this today on more than one screen, because if you are, I would love for you to actually engage with some of these AI tools that we're going to take a look at. But really, it's about what can AI do for you and help you in your job search, your research, your interviews, resumes, all of that. And before we end today, I'm going to be giving you a parting gift that will help you with every single aspect of that. So stay tuned, or at least look at the replay. So with this, yes, artificial intelligence. Some of you remember the Terminator movies like Skynet, where AI has taken over the world. It is taking the world by storm. We aren't to that superhuman takeover point yet, but AI is both intriguing and a little bit tricky and scary. We'll talk a little bit about that today, but the pieces that I love to use that are totally available to you for FREE are ChatGPT, Bing, and Bard. So when we're looking at that, ChatGPT is its own. You do need to sign up for that. They have an app that you can download on your phone, and then they also have a web application that you can sign up for free. You can pay for it, but you don't have to, and here's why. If you use ChatGPT, the free version, it's going to give you all sorts of great information. And ChatGPT 4, which is a paid-for service through ChatGPT, is available for free by using Microsoft Bing. So using, instead of maybe the Google search, you could use the Bing search, and right up at the top, it says chat. I'll show you this in just a second. Then for the Google side of the house, we have Bard. And again, Bard is available for free on their browser. This is what each of them look like. Now, I have my computer set to dark mode. It's just easier for me to see. But this is what ChatGPT tool looks like. You'll notice on the left-hand side, there's even an explanation on what is AI. But there's a little chat box at the bottom, and this is where you're going to type your prompts and ask it all of your questions. Think of it as a genie in a bottle. All right. What is wanted? You type it into the search bar, and it will generate all sorts of information for you. This is what Microsoft Bing looks like, and very similar look and feel. You'll notice it says, ask complex questions, get better answers, get creative inspiration. I was just telling one of the people on this call, I went to Atlanta, never had been before. I actually typed into the search, plan a 4-day trip to Atlanta, including parking prices, rental car prices, all of these things. In 30 seconds, it generated an entire itinerary for my trip to Atlanta. Did I follow it to the T? No. Did I get ideas of places to go and see that I had no idea even existed? Absolutely. And that's why I call it the genie in the bottle. So this is what Microsoft Bing looks like. And this is what Google Bard looks like. Now, the part that I cut off on the bottom is really interesting. It says, not all information is completely reliable. So I've had experience with any of these AI generators. Many of you know that there are strengths and or limitations to some of this. And so I do want to go over some of this with you, but if you are already using it, go ahead and put what you think some of the strengths or limitations are in the chat so that we can get some ideas flowing of those of you who have used it, especially for those who have not. But let me give you an example. So a lawyer was using ChatGPT in federal court, and it went horribly wrong. That was pretty much the headline by Matt Novak of Forbes. So here's what happened. An attorney was representing a man in a personal injury lawsuit in Manhattan. He submitted a federal court filing that cited at least 6 cases that he found on ChatGPT. None of those court cases actually exist. That was a problem. ChatGPT generated them out of thin air. So that is definitely one of the limitations. Other limitations. Let me actually just have you think about maybe some of the strengths as well, but you can put those in the chat. But some of the limitations are cross-referencing information. Always verify any information provided by AI with trusted sources. You may want to limit the scope. So using AI for a preliminary search, for brainstorming, really great, but not for maybe your final conclusions or the critical decisions that you're making. Use this as a generator to get your brain going. Understanding the limitations of each of these, you want to familiarize yourself with the potential pitfalls and biases of AI. The greatest part is you can ask in the chat every single one of these AI bots what their own limitations are, and they will literally list it for you. So really interesting that way. Clarify your inputs. So ensure that your prompts, we'll talk about this a little bit more, and your questions are clear and specific. Make sure that you're not ambiguous or vague. And if you are, maybe you're doing that on purpose, but just recognize that you might get information that is made up, like 6 court cases. You will want to, some of the limitations is in your first iteration, you may need to reiterate or reframe your question in order for AI to really understand what you're doing. And then the other piece is staying updated on what's happening now with each of these AI models. They're continuously being updated. It's called generative AI, meaning it's learning with every question that you put in and the thousands of questions that are coming to it each day. Think back to when Google appeared on the scene and we just thought, wow, all I have to do is Google it. Well, AI is becoming the new kind of Google where you can get more specific. And we'll talk about this in a minute, the kind of feedback that you can get. But let's talk about some of the strengths of this. So idea generation, brainstorming, you can type in anything you want and get a response. Drafting your writing, so resume, cover letter, letters of recommendation, all of that is something that you can use generative AI to help you out with. Drafting your resume for engineering versus drafting a different type of resume for customer service. The automation of repetitive tasks. So you can draft a single resume using AI and then have it make all the changes that you want it to make for a different type, for a different industry. You know how long and frustrating that can be for yourselves. Why don't you let the computer do the heavy lifting and then you go back in and do the editing that you know is going to take place? Making sure that you understand the limitations. Clarify your inputs. I'll show you this in just a second. But you can also use this generative AI as a tutorial. So asking questions just like you would ask me, just like you would ask Brenda, just like you would ask any of these individuals who are coaching you, you can use this as yet another source. And when you create that AI question, make sure that you tell it, do not make anything up. Only use verifiable sources, viable sources. Just that in the prompt can quickly get you more reliable information. So with that, let's just take a look at what you might want to do. So begin with a draft. So say you want to put together a CV, a cover letter, anything like that. Just go to the prompt, and you can do this while we're talking if you've got another screen or window open. Just put in a prompt that you want it to create a letter, a CV, a generalized outline or resume. You can just type that in there, but maybe be more specific about the industry that you're interested in, or even the job title, and tell it to only use viable sources, and then hit enter and see what comes up. That's when you're then going to take a look. What did it come back with? How good is the information? And start to edit that for yourself. A lot of times, folks that I work with have incredible challenges coming up with bullet statements that are impactful, that use really good action verbs, and that have a result. You can type all 3 things into that and ask it to make impactful bullet points that will resonate with a recruiter or a hiring manager, and it will get your mind going on wonderful ways to do your bullet statements for every single one of the jobs that you've had. Also, one of the things I love to do is ask the AI to provide me with tips on what I should be asking or what I should be saying. Or even putting in, what would a recruiter look for in an engineering resume? We've got all sorts of people here today: financial, insurance, human services, criminal justice. Use the AI to give you tips for every single one of those industries or job titles. You guys, your minds will be so expanded. I don't use the word mind blown anymore. Your minds will be so expanded, and it will help you generate loads of ideas. So here's the things to remember. Make sure the quality of your prompt, you may need to play with this a little bit. And that's what I want to encourage you to do today. Play, play, play. Treat it as a game, not as an actual factual source, but use it as a game to get your mind working in the right way. Check the information that it's provided. What is the context? If you will put in what kind of context you're using, that'll be helpful. Specific or keywords from maybe a job description or maybe something that you have in your resume that you want emphasized. Great way to do that. You will need to personalize that as much as possible. And you're just going to treat this like interaction, like you are having a conversation. So many people, when they get into their computer, do not treat it as if they're talking to an individual. The more you can make it a conversation, the better the result will be for you. So just pretend that you are having a conversation with me or with Jessica or with any of the coaches, and just play with that a little bit. So the effective prompt. You need to become what we call prompt engineers. It's all about what you put into it. And we have a lot of IT programmers and things like that that are writing code on this call. It's the same kind of thing, but this is maybe the For Dummies version. They're writing code and telling it what to do. We're just asking, what is wanted? What do we want to do? So here are some samples. What are the current job market trends in financial planning, in insurance, in leadership and coaching? That is a simple prompt that you could get your brain going. Next, if you're seeking guidance. So what are some potential career paths for someone with a degree in, and I saw on here, some of you have multiple degrees, maybe certificates. Ask that question and then put in the industry. What about getting information? What are some potential career paths for someone with blank in the healthcare industry? Let the generative AI play with that and feed you information. You can even ask it, use government websites to help me with this information, or use government insight or labor market information in your results. You can be that specific. Next ones. What are the most sought after programming languages for data science roles in the healthcare industry? What examples can you provide me of companies in Phoenix, in Detroit, in Tennessee, in Georgia that are looking for this title or whatever job title you've had or degree? And then you can amend that to say, try alternative job titles with similar requirements. I guarantee you that you've been playing in AI, but you haven't been playing in this way, and it will make a huge difference in what you're trying to accomplish. Could you provide me an example of a well-written cover letter for a marketing role, for a sales role, for a leadership role in a tech company, for a social services manager? Tell them to use reliable sources. That is incredible. And Volanda's like, yeah, you can get really deep with it. That's what I'm telling you. I want you to go deep. I want you to ask more detailed questions. And I want you to treat this like you were having a conversation with a coach. So somebody was asking earlier, are there free resources for people who perhaps have been incarcerated or part of the justice system? Yes. Utilize ChatGPT, ask that same question, or Bing or Bard, and see what kind of results you're getting. Make sure you vet those results. But I guarantee you it's going to come up with something that you had not thought of. That's what I love about it. So This is all exciting and amazing, and we only have 3 minutes left. But here's what I want you to know. As a parting gift to you today, my colleagues have spent the summer, they bought a ChatGPT-4 subscription so that we could do a bunch of research. So my colleague Reed Grave and his team purchased that and then came up with, this is not definitive, but in my mind, it's really great right now, using generative AI in your job search. What this will include, it's a 23-page document, and the link will be sent out by Bree and Jess at the end of this. It goes through all of it. What are the prompts that I can use for writing a cover letter? What are the prompts that I can use for job search? What are the prompts that I should be engineering in order to prepare for an interview? It will take you through 23 pages of all the things that you are trying to do that you're super frustrated about. Leslie, it is awesome, isn't it? It is incredible the way that you can use this. Again, I want you to have fun with this. I want you to be able to be free, like free your mind of limitations and just allow yourself to test these out. Again, ChatGPT is free unless you want ChatGPT-4, which is a crazy, I mean, you can do amazing things with that. For example, we were holding an event here at the university I work at. We have a cougar as our mascot, and we have maple bars that we call cougar tails. So in ChatGPT-4, the paid version, which is free on Bing, we put in all the parameters of what we wanted for an image for this activity. It literally created a cartoon image of a cougar handing out maple bars that we then ended up using. It looks so cool, cooler than the Jetsons even. So with this, let's just take a look at what are we summarizing. What is AI? It is an enhanced way for you to be efficient, to streamline your process in the way that you approach your job search, saving lots of time and lots of effort. It does personal matchmaking. In other words, it offers tailored job information for you and recommendations depending on the prompt that you use. And it can help with skill enhancement because it can provide you with all sorts of learning and information that you wouldn't necessarily find otherwise, or makes it easier than just doing a Google search. So with that, I do want you to notice who wrote this summary. Yep, you guessed it. ChatGPT wrote that summary. You guys are amazing, awesome. I want to thank you for getting up and being part of this amazing group today. And I hope that just a few of these tips that you've heard from myself and from Brenda are going to help you feel so much better about tackling your job search. Thank you so much.
Yes, Justin. Round of applause, virtual clap. Thank you, thank you. Awesome. Oh, awesome. I've been telling our team and so many people that AI really is, in my opinion, the next version of the internet, social media, and now AI. It's like, it's going to everybody's lives. And so getting into it and starting to play with it and understand it, it's going to change everything, a lot of stuff for people. So could be I hope a really good way for the majority of us. So thank you, Justin. Thank you. For a lot of you are asking, how can I get this document? How can I get this document? You will be getting an email for anyone that registered for today. So whether you are on the call or you can only stay for a while, or actually for the people that didn't come today, you're still going to get an email this afternoon that'll have a link to this webinar, and it will have a link to this resource, this AI resource that Justin and his team put together. Really amazing resource, and I can't wait to get that out. You guys are going to find it very helpful. So look for your email later this afternoon. It will be right in there and you can download it. All right, you guys, I want to go through some resources and then we're going to jump into the breakout rooms. Oh, Justin, you cannot stay today. He has another event, so he will not be on, but please look at that resource, connect with him on LinkedIn. And if you have any questions, you can contact him that way. Thanks again, Justin. All right, so I want to go through some of our resources that we have here. You guys, we don't have a formal evaluation process, but if you do have feedback, we would love it. If you want to share with us any kind of testimonial, or if you want to give us any information about what you thought about our program, we're always looking for those testimonials from people. And so please go ahead and send that to us. You can send it to me on LinkedIn. You can email it directly to contact@CareerConnectors. If you have thoughts about content you'd like to see in the future, please feel free to reach out to us. There's a lot of resources on our website. So you can go back to careerconnectors.org to check this stuff out. And the DISC assessment is on there. That is a free resource. And you can take that. It'll help you learn a little bit about your communication styles, your work environment that you prefer, lots of great information. And then also we have our webinars right out there as well for all past webinars. I see a question on here about somebody did not receive an email message. It may be dropping into your spam if you haven't. So you can just search Career Connectors in your email and that's should come up then. But if not, these resources are going to be on our website. And our team was talking in the chat about how to get this AI resource on our website. So we will figure that out and look under the resources tab, and we'll try and get it posted there as well. Okay, otherwise in social media, connect with us on social media if you're having a problem getting our emails, because we are all over social media. Check the Instagram and the LinkedIn groups are really active. We also are on Facebook and some on TikTok as well, but we post a lot of great information on there as well. I want to say thank you to our corporate partners. And these are some of the programs that support what we're doing in the community. So thank you. Thank you so much. Best Companies AZ, I want to specifically park on for just a minute. And they are a company, and they're not just for Arizona. They are called Best Companies AZ, but we have Best Companies USA. A lot of companies that they work with have presence all over the United States. They hire for both in-person and remote opportunities. And so Best Companies AZ is an award-winning company, is it a company that helps award-winning clients and companies it gets them candidates, it helps them look for the right candidates. And so if you're interested in working for a Best Company, they are a great organization to connect with. And so you'll see on the next slide some of the examples of companies that they work with. And I believe they have a breakout room today as well. And you can go in there and see a whole bunch of the companies that they're hiring for. Jenna, thank you. Jenna just dropped in the chat links to a lot of the Best Companies information and companies that are hiring for candidates right now. Also want to announce or talk about our great partnership with LearnKey. If you have not heard of LearnKey yet, I encourage you to jump on. We're going to drop the link in, but you can take a look at LearnKey. Brenda mentioned specifically about professional development today. This is a professional development organization that we partnered with, and you can get two free courses. And so thank you, Kathleen, for dropping that link. If you would like to do some professional development, jump on that link and you can grab those courses at no cost. They have online training videos. If you're trying to get some certifications that you can do online, they are a great place to go. And so I believe Jeff, somebody from the LearnKey team is here today, and they will be in the breakout rooms. So if you would like more information on what kind of trainings are available and what would be a good one for you to take, if you want to start with cybersecurity or building trust and capability, both of those are free courses you can take right away at no cost. Okay. And I want to let you guys know about our upcoming event. So we do these monthly programs, and the next one is December 7th. And I'm excited to close out the year. I get one keynote a year, and mine's the last one. So we're going to specifically talk about setting up 2024, what the job landscape is looking like and how to navigate that. And then we're going to bring in Trevor Stokes, and I'm going to do a Q&A with him talking about the state of the workforce. What is workforce looking like? What is the economy and jobs? Where are the growth industries? He is an expert economist, and he's going to come in and talk through some of that. So he is available, and then we are working on our 2024 schedule that will include these monthly events as well as hiring events. And there were some questions today about people that have some type of background. And so we are doing a specific event for people that do have some type of background. So a justice event, and that will be happening December 6th. And so if that's you or someone you know, please check your email, and we are doing a hiring event specific for that group of folks that need some additional assistance in expungement and getting jobs for, or working with companies that will accept different backgrounds. So look for that as well. All right, let's see. So thank you to our incredible team. Thank you so much. We have many resume writers on the call. We have career coaches, LinkedIn coaches. We have our incredible support team. Thank you, Lisa McCarthy and Irving and Kathleen for running all of the back end stuff. And we're just so grateful to have you all here today. If you are interested in volunteering, our organization is predominantly run by volunteers. And so you can check out careerconnectors.org/volunteer. And then, of course, end of the year is coming. And so if you have donations that you are looking to give, we would greatly, greatly appreciate that. You'll see a campaign coming out for Giving Tuesday, which happens after Black Friday, and then end of year campaign. Of course, if you aren't able to donate at this time, we totally understand. We totally understand, but when you do land, if you could think of us and help the person coming behind you, we would really appreciate that. All right, so I'm going to hand it off to Bree, and Bree's going to walk through how to connect in a breakout room, and you're going to be able to connect in multiple breakout rooms. I just want you all to know that myself and our team, we are praying for you guys that you land into the career of your dreams, and thank you for being here today.
Hello. Okay, I'm going to go over the breakout room process really quick. So we have about 11 people in the breakout rooms that you can go to, from career coaching, financial coaching, resume review, and our keynote speaker and others. So what you're going to do is go to the toolbar at the bottom of your screen. You're going to click on breakout rooms. You'll see it once they're open. They're not open quite yet. And you're just going to hover over which room you want to go into and click join. If there are a lot of people in one breakout room, just know you can hop around to others that may be less full. So I'm going to open all the rooms right now. So you'll see them come up. And if anyone has any issues getting into breakout rooms, just let us know in the chat and we can manually move you in there. Thank you.